August 1590. A ship arrives at Roanoke Island, off the coast of what is now North Carolina. A man steps off the boat, Governor John White. He's returning after 3 long years to a colony he helped build. A colony filled with men, women, children, including his own daughter and infant granddaughter. But as he walks into the settlement, something feels wrong. The houses are gone. The fort is destroyed. There are no people, no smoke, no footsteps, no graves, just silence. And then, carved into a fence post, a single word: Croatoan. 117 souls, erased from history, no bodies, no clues, just questions. What happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? And could the answer still be hidden, somewhere in America's oldest mystery? The year was 1587. England was restless. Queen Elizabeth I reigned with steel and splendor. But across the sea, a new dream was taking shape. A new world, untamed, rich with promise, full of danger. It was there that 115 English men, women and children, guided by a man named John White, set sail to start something never before attempted by the English, a permanent settlement in the New World. Their destination? Roanoke Island, located in what is now North Carolina. They were promised fertile land, cooperation with local tribes, and protection from Spanish forces lurking to the south. But what they found upon arrival was anything but welcoming. The previous English colony, a military outpost established 2 years earlier, had mysteriously collapsed. Forts burned, tools missing, the only thing left: bones. Still, John White and the colonists pressed on. They rebuilt, they planted, they prayed. Among them was White's own daughter, Eleanor Dare, pregnant with her second child. On August 18, 1587, she gave birth to the first English child born in America, Virginia Dare. It was supposed to be a sign, a beginning. Instead, it became a symbol of something far more haunting. The settlers struggled, supplies ran low. Relations with the nearby native tribes grew tense. The colonists begged Governor White to return to England for help, to bring food, weapons, tools, and men. White hesitated. He didn't want to leave his daughter, his new granddaughter, but the colony's survival depended on it. In late 1587, he set sail for England, promising to return within the year. But war had other plans. England was at the brink of invasion. The Spanish Armada loomed large over the Atlantic. All ships were recalled. No one could leave. John White was trapped. 1 year turned into 2. 2 turned into 3. By the time he secured passage back to Roanoke, it was 1590. August. Exactly 3 years since he had seen his family. As White's ship anchored off the Carolina coast, his heart pounded. He imagined Virginia, now 3 years old, running through the trees, Eleanor greeting him with open arms, the colony bustling, alive. But what he found was silence. The shore was empty, the fort dismantled, the houses gone, no fires, no footprints, no signs of life. The entire colony had vanished. 117 people, gone. And then he saw it, carved into a wooden post just outside the entrance to the old fort, one word: Croatoan. No other message, no sign of struggle, no grave markers, no bones. Just that word, Croatoan. White's heart sank. That word, Croatoan, referred to a nearby island, roughly 50 miles south, home to a native tribe who had once allied with the English. Could the colonists have moved there? Was it a sign? He had instructed them before he left. If they were forced to leave, carve the name of your destination. If danger forced you, leave a cross beside it. There was no cross. That meant they had left willingly, or so it seemed. White begged the ship's captain to take him to Croatoan Island, but storms were coming. The crew refused. They left. And John White, grandfather, father, governor, would never return. He never saw Eleanor again, never held Virginia. And he died in England with no answers. The colony's fate remained sealed in silence. But the legend, had only just begun. Over the centuries, the story of Roanoke grew into myth. Some believed the colonists were killed by hostile tribes. Others thought they were absorbed into friendly ones, marrying, blending, becoming one with the Croatoan people. Then there were the darker theories, that something more sinister had happened, that the settlers had tried to flee by sea and perished, that starvation, disease, or madness had torn them apart, that the island had claimed them. There were whispers of a cursed land, of shadows in the trees, of screams that echoed through the night, but no bodies were ever found. No graves unearthed, no weapons, no diaries, no signs of battle, just the word, carved deep into old wood, Croatoan. The mystery didn't die with the 1500s. In the early 1600s, as Jamestown rose in Virginia, rumors surfaced again. Some settlers claimed they saw native people with grey eyes speaking English. Others said they found abandoned buildings far inland, made in English style. Could they have survived? Could parts of the colony have splintered, moving west deeper into the forests? In 1607, explorer Captain John Smith, the man later saved by Pocahontas, was told of tribes that knew of white settlements long vanished. He asked about the Roanoke colonists. One tribe told him they had been attacked, killed. But there was no proof. Only stories passed by word of mouth, passed down like ghosts. The word Croatoan itself began to take on new meaning. It wasn't just the name of an island anymore. It became a symbol of disappearance, of mystery, of endings without answers. In 1812, the poet Edgar Allan Poe reportedly muttered it on his deathbed, Croatoan, before dying in a delirious state. In 1888, famed stage actor Edwin Booth, brother of John Wilkes Booth, allegedly found the word carved into the bedpost of his hotel room just before dying. Even Amelia Earhart, before her final flight, had scribbled the word Croatoan into her journal, or so the rumors claimed. Was it coincidence? Or had the word itself become a curse, a whisper from the past that echoed across time? In modern times, archaeologists returned to Roanoke Island with better tools: ground-penetrating radar, DNA testing, satellite imaging. Some pottery was found, deep in the forests, dated to the 1580s, English style, possibly trade, possibly colonist-made, but nothing conclusive. No bones, no mass graves, no collapsed structures, just fragments, like echoes of a colony that once was. As if the earth had swallowed them whole, leaving behind nothing but that single carved word and the questions that still burn centuries later. What happened to the Roanoke settlers? Did they live? Did they die? Or did they become something else entirely? One clue, one word, and 117 vanished, and the answer may still be waiting. Just beneath the surface, 4 centuries, thousands of theories, but no truth carved as clearly as that one word, Croatoan. In the decades following the disappearance, whispers spread far beyond Roanoke. Tribes in the Carolinas claimed to have seen white-skinned children. Some said they spoke broken English. Others told of a village deep inland, where blue-eyed elders told stories that didn't belong to the New World. In 1607, settlers at Jamestown heard these tales, and one tribe on the Roanoke said plainly, "Yes, we knew them. They came to us, but they were taken." By whom? By what? They didn't say. A century passed, then 2. And with every passing generation, the lines between truth and myth blurred. In the 1800s, a man exploring the coastal forests of North Carolina discovered a weathered stone. On it, chiseled words, "Ananias Dare and Virginia went hence unto heaven." It was signed EUD, Eleanor White Dare. It was called the Dare Stone. More were found. They described war, death, disease. They told of a brutal march inland and Eleanor's eventual survival in a native village. But over time, historians labeled them hoaxes. Too many stones, too convenient, too late. And yet, no one could say for sure. Then, in the 1990s and early 2000s, archaeologists returned to the Carolina coast. They uncovered shards of pottery, unmistakably English, copper pieces, iron tools, buried miles from the original colony site. Signs of a quiet life, a hidden one, not erased, just moved. Some now believe that when John White returned in 1590, his people weren't gone. They were waiting, 50 miles south, on Croatoan Island, and he just never got there. Storms stopped him, his ship turned away, and with it, history turned too. A wrong course, and the truth was lost. But others still hold darker beliefs, that the colony didn't move, it ended, not in blood, but in isolation, a slow unraveling, disease, starvation, madness, that when the last survivor stood alone on that island, they carved one word, Croatoan, not as a clue, but as a curse, a warning to anyone who followed. Something happened there, something the earth refuses to give up. To this day, no mass graves have ever been found, no bones, no human remains, as if the land itself buried the truth and locked the door. And now, Roanoke lives on, not as a place, but a question. Why does the mystery still haunt us? Why does a word carved into wood echo through time? Because Roanoke wasn't just the first English colony, it was America's first unsolved disappearance. The first time we looked into the unknown and got no answer back. And maybe that's why it lingers. Because in a world built on control, the idea that 117 people could vanish without a trace still chills us to the bone. One word, no bodies, no ending,
Croatoan.
just silence, and a whisper lost in the trees. Croatoan.